In the first podcast, we were talking about CSS templates. We downloaded one, and here I have the results. Now, in the main folder that unzips after you download, you will find an index.html or HTML file. And so that index.html file is your main homepage in your website. So what I'm going to do is take it into a web browser, and we're actually going to look at it on the local machine. Now I like Google Chrome, and I'll explain why as we go along. But Google Chrome has some very nice tools, not just for viewing websites, but also for creating them. So Google Chrome is my choice for this project. So I'm just going to drag it over icon. It opens up, and you'll see it looks just like it did on the preview site in episode 1. Except here, if you take a look at the address bar, you'll see that this is actually on the local machine. It's a file. It's not a HTTP address. So this is the index.html file that we can actually edit. To do the editing, I like to use, because I'm on a Mac, a program called Text Wrangler. Okay, we're going to go back to the Finder, grab that same index.html file, and this time, instead of opening it in the web browser, we're going to open it into Text Wrangler. Okay. Maybe, I'm not sure what happened there. Let me drag it over there again. There it is. Okay, so this shows you the actual code that the web browser interprets. And again, we don't need to know too much about this as an overview. What Text Wrangler allows you to do is very easily search through the code for things that you want to change. So, for example, I'm going to switch back to Google Chrome. Oh, you know what? Quick side note. Text Wrangler is from a company called Barebones. So you can go to barebones.com and download that if you're on a Mac. If you are on a Windows-based PC, you can use HTML Kit. It's actually a little bit better than Text Wrangler. And it's by a company called Chami, so chami.com. And we'll put those links in the podcast notes. Okay. But with this template, what I want to change first is up here on the top, this title bar, it still says a premium business and portfolio theme or alias. Well, I want that to say my name. So I'm going to go back to Text Wrangler, find where it says that, and you can see here it says it right there. But what I want to show you is that you can do a Command F to find, and if I wanted to find the word premium, which is in that title, I can click on Next. It highlights it. Right there it is. Okay, so that'll draw my attention to exactly that text that I need to change. I will now highlight it and type my name in. I will save it with a Command S. And now when I view it in Chrome, it no longer says what it did. It says Clay Vernon, which is what we wanted. Okay, so now we got rid of the text that was up here. Next I'm going to get rid of this main text here. I'll go to my index.html, search for that. Just search for the first few letters. Okay, so there I can see it's there. I'm going to replace that. Okay, just going to put that with my name. Again, if If I switch back to Chrome and refresh this page, now that is changed. Next thing I'm going to do is change this menu bar. A good principle of web design is that you want as few links as you can possibly get away with. Right now, I feel like this is just really cluttered up here with 5 links. I mean, any more and it's definitely too much, but even 5 is a bit much. So I'm going to cut it down. I'm going to get rid of the portfolio, blog, and contact us links. So I'm going to go back to my index. I'm going to search for contact us. Click next. Okay, there it is. Brought to my attention. Going to zoom in on this a little bit so everybody can see. And you'll see here that we have the contact us, we have the blog, we have the word portfolio, we have the word about, the word home. And then all that stuff is surrounded by a bunch of stuff that the common person probably does not recognize. So most CSS templates have this sort of navigation menu, and by the way, you can see over here it says actually navigation menu. They have these comment tags around that to set it off. So if you're having trouble finding the navigation menu, just try searching your HTML file for the word navigation or navi. Okay, but you can kind of tell that there's this pattern, right? I mean, I can set these apart, and you'll tell that be able to tell that all of these elements begin with this li tag. Zoom in there, li, and all of them end with a tag that's similar. Right. Okay. So all of these are the corresponding pieces that correspond to the 5 links. So I said I was going to get rid of these 3, the contact us, blog, and portfolio. So I'm just going to highlight those and delete them, and then save, Command S. Now again, if I go back here, refresh, boom, they're gone, and we're left with a cleaner page. And by the way, if you do something accidentally, don't worry. At least in TextEdit, and I believe in HTMLKit as well, you can go back to the document, even if you just saved it, do an undo, do another save, and it'll bring it back. But of course we're satisfied with how it was. Okay, next I want to get rid of all of this stuff at the bottom. I'm going for a super minimalist front page, so I want to get rid of all that. So I'm going to search for welcome in this document, find the words welcome. And remember, I'm just doing a Command F for find whenever I'm trying to find something. Okay, I found it. It's in this section called caption line. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys a technique that can be used to get rid of massive amounts of your page without deleting. So if I go back to the Chrome and take a look at this, I want everything basically down to where it has this copyright information here. So if I look around here for the copyright, I'll see that word copyright is right there. Okay, so I want to more or less go into that section, It looks like that section is the footer section. So I'm going to hold down Shift. That's going to highlight this entire section. And now I'm going to do a thing called commenting. So in HTML-Kit also, there is a way to comment out part of the code. In Text Wrangler, that option is under the text menu. It's called /comment selection. So if I select that, it didn't work because I was zoomed in. There we go. Now it has, you'll see that all of this is turned red, which means that it will not be recognized by an HTML browser. It's all commented out. So when I save that and then refresh in Chrome, it all disappears. All that stuff at the bottom just went away. And we're left with just these image carousels and the menu up here, the title and the name here. So we're really simplifying it, which is what you want to do with a CSS template. They give you a lot of stuff with the expectation that you'll cut a lot out. Okay, next I'm going to show you how to replace an image by the name of the image. In Chrome, you can determine an image's name typically by right-clicking on it and going to just Open Image in New Tab. And that opens an image in a new tab. See, that's that same image, very boring gray image with text. And you can tell then the location of that image and the name of that image by looking in the address bar. This is in Clay's website /images, and it's called 600x300.gif. So if I go to my Finder, or if you go to Windows Explorer, if you're working with a Windows system, you'll see here I'm in Clay's website folder. Go into the images folder here, double click, and sure enough, there is that image, 600 by 300 .gif. And so one way to replace an image is to simply have an image and rename it to what the website is using. So I'm going to hit enter, do a copy so that we end up with the same name here. And I just realized that this image I have is actually a JPEG. So I'm going to save this as a GIF really quick. And why not, I'll just go ahead and give it this name here. Okay. So now this image that I have, I'm just going to drop it into this folder, and it's going to overwrite. It gives me this sanity check, says, do you want to replace it with the newer one that you're moving in? And I'm going to say yes, I do. So I replace that, and take a look at what happens then when we go back to our website and refresh it. All of a sudden, all of these images are my new image. Okay. So for this particular application, replacing an image in this method is not probably the most efficient way. So the thing that we have to do then is go in and rename each of these images in the code. So in my website folder, in my images folder actually, I have already put this NFL.jpg image in. And so that's the image that I'm going to use. So where it was called 600x300.gif, I'm going to search for that in this document. Command F. I'm just going to type in 600. Do a search for that. That's not the 600 I wanted. That is the 600 I want. Okay, so you'll see here that this section, you can kind of reason out what some of these sections are. This is the featured image slider section, they call it. And here's, for example, one of the images. Here I'm going to replace this with my image in fl.jpg. It's not a GIF. And I'm going to save that. And so now when I go back to this, one of those images is the NFL.jpg. The rest of them are still the 600 by 300.gif. But there is the NFL.jpg. Okay, so again, I had this JPEG pre-existing. I just searched for that image name that I got from Chrome and replaced that image name. Now I did have this image NFL.jpg already placed in my images folder. So if you don't have your image placed in your images folder, and most CSS templates do have an images folder, you'll want to put it there. The short of it is you want to know where your image is on your system so that you can tell and code that into the page. Okay, so now we've learned about how to change text. We've learned how to change the ordered list, or sorry, the unordered list of the menu. And we've learned how to replace images using the two different methods that one would use when replacing images with a CSS template. The only other thing that we really need to cover here is links. So we all know that we navigate the web by clicking on links, and those links take us to new web pages full of new wonderful information. So what we need to do here is edit some links, and I'm going to use this particular NFL.jpg as our example. So right now we can tell that this is linked to a file called portfolio_single.html. And this is the only bit of HTML stuff that you have to know. The tag for a link is called href, which is hypertext reference. Okay, so if you search your document for href, you can go through and find all the links within your document. Okay, so we're going to find that link that was right by the NFL JPEG. And you'll see that right now it takes us to a file called portfolio single. So when I click on this in Chrome, it takes me to this portfolio single page. Okay, and this is unedited by me at this point. Remember, our image is just now the generic image for the template, because we renamed and deleted 600x300.gif. Well, I want this to go to a different page. So it's not going to be a portfolio single.html. I've actually already created the page that I want it to go to. I'm going to go back to my Finder. I'm going to go back to my main Clay's website folder. And here's the page that I want it to go to, NFL.html. Okay, so it's in the same folder. I don't have to change the preceding path at all. I can simply name this NFL.html instead of portfolio single. Do a Command S to save it. And now when I refresh this, you'll see that if I pull this bar up, I can zoom in on it. You'll see that this is wanting to link already to NFL.html. Okay, so if I click on that, we'll then see the page I've already made for my NFL project. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so that's it in a nutshell. I've now got a pretty short and sweet little home page for myself. All I need to do is fill in a couple more projects where these image carousels are, and I'll be pretty much set. So I hope that this was informative to you. The next podcasts will be totally different from this one. This was all about CSS website design, and the next ones coming up are going to be about various different subjects around the Art Institute International, Kansas City. So please subscribe with this link, df430.aiikc.com.